All right, C1x Road to launch, day 43, I believe. Spent a little bit of time yesterday putting a final flyer design together. That's what I entered this Creekside round for. I think this is going to go up on the flyers in large part because the main place I'm going to be putting a flyer up is at Creekside. But today, I'm going to try and incorporate this feature for skipping a hole. So, talked about it briefly in the last video, but you show up to hole 1 at your local course and there's people picnicking in the middle of the fairway. You just want to skip and go to hole 2. Currently, there's not a way to do that in the app. You could just, enter, say you got a par, but it's going to show up in your stats either way. It'd be nice to have just a skip button that doesn't affect your stats if you really are skipping a hole. So I want to try and build that out. I've got at least a rough outline, I think, of what I'm going to do here. But we're going to start. Still got the stuff I need to do on the global list too. Not going to tackle that quite at the moment. I think this feature is going to take me a long time. It's kind of my expectation. If shot data is not empty, we have an undo button. Else secondary button erase round. Do I have a different color option for the secondary buttons? I have the course options, but that's not really what I want. That's not what I want. Not really. I can do one of these, but that seems silly. This isn't a big deal. So right now we're gonna go outside of this else because I want to show it at the bottom. All right, this is gonna say skip hole longer equals true on pressed. So here I really need to go look at the code I'm running. Let's go up here. Let's skip hole. Give me an error there so I can find it. Then I need to go look at the code that I'm running. When a button is hit, so it's this. Initial temp hole. Maybe I just start by copying this whole block. That's probably, probably what I should be doing. Else temp is hole over, is hole over. Round is over. Do I update hole numbers down here too? I do. It should just be this, because what? This is a if equal to penalty, true. Here we go. So if last shot, yeah. So the basket button, which is the main way that people will end holes, is only being run by this code. So I'm just going to copy this. And then we're going to go up here. Round option set state. And then we're going to go pop the dialog as well. So I want this. That should be fine. Where's that error at? Here we go. All right, drop that in there. Let's round options, set state. So we get rid of this. This can become round options context so that I can pop the dialog. Okay. Now, final temp hole over is equal to is hole over. Current hole is always going to be over. I really should not be updating the round score. So there's a lot of this I can actually get rid of here. Temp is hole over, temp current hole, temp actual hole is equal to is hole over. Do I still need to call it, or do I just current hole, actual hole? Let's start with this. Let's go to that is hole over function. All right, and then this is the code I want. Let's go back up here. All right, so give me a little bit of space here. Let's copy that. If actual hole is greater than round information dot hole parse length. I think I want this technically to run at the end. If round is over, else. So I'm going to replace this code with this. Let's put a little space in here. And then I'm going to get to that. We need to go in order. Temp is hole over is always going to be true. And then the reason I'm copying this code is I do still need to update the current hole and the actual hole. But I can do that like so. It's easy to do because I know that I'm always increasing the hole. Those are the only values I'm taking away from it. So otherwise, I do not need that function. Is current hole over is useless. Round is over, I do need. At this point, I am not updating current hole and actual hole, so I think I leave those as is. That's in a good spot. Current hole is always going to be over. I don't want to update the round score, although I do need to update that function. There is going to be so much stuff to figure out here. This is going to be a lot. Here's what I probably should do. So I'm going to do this real quick. Comment that out. Let me go down to my set state. Let's do that. We're going to save it, and then I am going to push this version just so if I go break everything, I can at least come back to this. And v1.0.0 update pre-skip. Yep. All right, and then okay. Probably a good spot to start with there. My screen didn't freeze, did it? No. Okay. All right. So with that, let's go get rid of this again. Now I can think this through. I won't do that. Just yeah, I need to create tasks for these. count for the update round score function. So I need to fix this. Current hole is always over, so this always needs to run. Temp current hole and temp actual hole. So maybe I slide these down. Throwing options, throwing count. Am I saving that stuff? No. So this will simplify things a little bit. We're going to slide this to the end. Temp actual hole. Okay. So current score should be fine. We can update it, I think, but it shouldn't account for anything, and I just need to fix that function. Throwing options equals update. Option shown. Last shot and 2 shots ago. Let's go to that. Update options shown. Where's that function? Scoring management, scoring options. All right, update options shown. If putt distance options, options shown, return. All right, so we can just, that makes this nice and easy. Throwing options is equal to this. Throwing count. How come 2 shots ago and last shot is working there? All right, what about update throw count? Count equals 1. If all labels hole completed options contains last shot, return. So I just need to set the count equal to 1. Whoops, I thought that was what I just changed. Hold on. Where am I at here? I copied that there. Okay, here we go. This is going to be, give me this. I think I copied those in the wrong spot, but we're good now. Is equal to that. Throwing count is going to be equal to 1. All right, and then if actual hole is greater than that, we're going to return. I never need to return true. So here we can actually just do current hole plus equal to 1. And then here we can go actual hole is equal to 1. And then this one will be actual hole plus equal to 1. There's going to be a lot to test on this that I'm not overly looking forward to, but here we can just use normal actual hole. Here I should just be able to use the normal current hole. That might be a pretty good start. Let's just go ahead and go to that update round score right here. For hole strokes is equal to 0. For shot, so here I just need to run a skip. And then what if they skip hole 1? score. Round scores starting at 0. Can I do, can I just wrap this in a if shot data whole is not equal to skip? Let's go to my scoring options. Static const skipped whole is equal to. In case I ever try to change it, we can avoid any typos. Is equal to all labels dot skipped whole, and then wrap this here. Contains. So as long as it does not contain skipped whole, that'll work. So this way I can add the strokes, but I'm never actually changing the score. Then I reset whole strokes. Round score starts at 0 anyways. I think that should be fine. I think. Let's do a quick test. See where that puts me. Let's missing some spaces, I guess. 20. Confirm erase. All right, start round. Score did still update. Update round score. Shot data whole pars. Round score is equal to 0 if shot data whole contains, which it should not, if the whole is less than current whole. Did I add skip to it? I guess what? Maybe I never actually added that. That would be silly. Yeah, I definitely did not. All right. So round information shot data. Current whole minus 1 is equal to that. All right, give me another reset. So I actually have to put the skipped whole in there. That would be a good start. Let's do that. Confirm. All right. Ooh. Erase round. Skip whole. So that might just work anyways. Skip whole. One down. Okay. Skip whole. That seems to be largely working. Now we can tackle what might be the worst part of this, which is the undo button. Maybe it won't be. Undo last shot. All right. So somewhere in this, I account for throw-ins. And I need to do something else, something similar here. I wonder if I just, I don't think that's going to work. I was like, I wonder if I could just insert the skipped hole into that whole completion options, which is just an array of strings, but I don't think I like that. I did not craft the simplest function here. Current hole is not equal to 1. No completed options. Excuse me. So that would evaluate to false. 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 That one would be true. Excuse me. Remove last. Current hole would be 2. Right. So that would pass 1. So I would be getting the second value. If hole completed. So this would need to like, I wonder if I could just contains all labels. Skipped hole. empty. I don't want that stuff. Maybe that's all fine. I have little confidence in that actually working. I don't think I need to do anything there or there. These ones have me kind of nervous. Whole completed options. I really need to comment out this button better. It's given me so many issues over the past few months. Maybe I can't leave that. All right, maybe I try leaving that in. And then here we're going to do a, oops. Or shot data last index is equal to all labels skipped whole. I don't like it, but I think it's probably important that I just test it. What the heck is going on with the resume button now? How do I check if and or shot data 0 contains labels dot skipped whole. All right, give me a reset now. That is working. Okay. So I fixed that. Now I need to fix the start round button text. thrown, or shot data 0 contains all labels. Skipped hole. All right, another reset. Fix the undo button to account for our skipped hole. Now it says resume round. Now let's erase it anyways. All right, start round. Let's skip a hole. Undoing does take me to the first tee. Not breaking anything. Let's skip hole 2. Let's undo on the tee. On the tee. I mean, there's no way that I actually just did that first try. Something's got to break. What about 2 skipped holes in a row? Holy cow. Ooh, what if I skip here? I mean, that's pretty exciting. So I think those changes worked. Adding this in here just to account for skipped hole, which is and I did just run this exact same thing. I'll leave it separately right now, just in case I need to change something. But so we did that, and then it was accounting for it here as well. Just because I know I already had an issue with the undo button of making it work so that like aces in a row wouldn't break the app. And so when you do an ace, it's just setting the shot data as one value, which is throw-in. I knew that. So the hope was that as long as every time you skip a hole, it sets that entire value just to the one string value, which is skip, instead of throw-in. So I should have just been able to mirror the logic for throw-ins for aces. And as long as I do that, it should work. And so that's what I tried. Seems like that worked out okay, which is pretty cool. I updated the round score function, right? In the basket. So that's 2 under. If I skip this one, 2 under. Skip this one, 2 under. Nothing given there. Still 2 under. That gets me to 3 under. So I think I'm good there. Should we set the tee out of the hole? I think that works as intended. So I don't want to jinx it. There's probably still, let's do a quick reset. Just make sure that the resume round button that I'm getting the correct things loaded in. I was like, there's no reason I shouldn't be, but worth double checking. Let's go undo some here. Hole 5 I skipped. Hole 4 I skipped. Hole 3 I skipped. Hole 2 and hole 1 on the tee. Okay. So I think we're good there, which means that the only changes I should have left, I do kind of want to make the button look a little different. Change skip hole button design is now to make it work in a round summary, which is going to be hard. But all right, update round summary to include an icon if the hole is skipped. So let's get out of this. Let's go to the round display. Where does the score come from? Is that all? It's probably all a part of the infographic, right? Should be. Single child scroll view. Round infographic content here. score is equal to calculate round display round score. Round pars users. That's probably going to be an issue. So let's do this. Let's go to the scorecard. When I finish a round, I calculate user whole scores. Save user whole scores only. Where do I calculate that at? Is that way up here? If round is over, handle round finished. Return, yeah. All right, return user whole scores array. User whole scores, add whole strokes. If shot data whole contains all labels, skipped whole, else. Contains skipped whole, we're just going to add 0. So that should be enough to get the user whole scores right. So I should be calculate round display round score. I guess I can see if that's in this one or not. Round display calculations. Display. Crazy here. Where's it? Round stat keeping. Aha. All right. Calculate round display round score. For each whole. If user whole scores is not equal to 0 to account for skipped holes. I'm going to do that. Okay. And then total strokes for round. Total strokes. And do the same thing here. If whole scores whole is not equal to 0, do the same thing to account for skipped holes. So I think I should be calculating all of those appropriately. All right, so that's the score. Par and distance will be the same. I'm not going to update those for skipped holes. That's a minor issue. Calculate total par for round, same thing. Dates is not going to change. Distance is not going to change. Calculate total par, same thing. Whole scoring, segmented bar, stats. Infographic. Where does that come from? Stats for whole segmented bar. It's getting passed. So let me go to the round display, round infographic content. Stats for a whole scoring segments. So what, I've just got a whole bunch of stats up here that we've gotta figure out. Right here. Turn segment data, labels I. Process data, scoring keys, stack calculations. So that's just updating it in the stat calcs, really. Okay. So that should take care of this. And then here we have the build whole score summary. User whole scores. Do I actually already account for that? I know that's at the bottom of this file. Build whole score summary. Text whole, round pars, distances set. Is this else score box, which is round display graphics. Score box here. If score is equal to 0. Which will be true. And for round scorecard. When would it not be for round scorecard? I don't pass it there. Oh, that's for the end of the round, I see. So actually, if score is ever equal to 0. Right? I mean, shouldn't I be able to just do this? And then take this up here. I think that's going to take care of this issue. So I think the round summary is updated to include an icon if the whole is skipped. You can just leave it blank right now. That's not a big deal. Whole breakdowns, on the other hand, these guys, that one is going to be a struggle. All of that's going to come from stats, so we can ignore. All right, and then here, round display, score box, all the way up. All right, check out my round infographic content, stat explanation dialogues. Scoreboard row. Whole breakdown card is here. Okay. Build whole number cell, build par cell. Build a whole color cell. Build label column. Build a whole column. Okay. Is equal to score. Let's go if score is equal to 0. And then do this. Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna throw this if else statement in here. So this is the code that's building out these columns. And if the score is equal to 0, we can do this. I can have an else that this goes in like so. So if the score is equal to 0, we're going to pass that. And I can actually probably leave. So let's give me an error here. Get score color is round display. Get score color. Let's do a account for skipped holes. Return, here we're gonna go colors.transparent. Okay, so then I can still pass the same thing. All right, now let's keep going down. Container, screen width. I guess I probably just want everything to be blank here. Container. Can I do a if score is equal to 0 here? Is this going to be okay? Or score is not equal to 0? I wasn't sure if it was going to throw an error if everything is inside of an if statement. Don't show anything if score is 0. Skipped hole. Okay. That actually should be good, I think. So now I should just have a blank column and a blank here. That's transparent. So I think I'm good there. And now I think, yeah. You need something? Okay. So I think the only thing left then is to adjust all of my calculations, which is also probably going to be a pain. And I don't think I can really test any of this until I fix the calculations, because otherwise it's just going to throw an error before I even get to see the visual. So round display. When I calculate my stats for the round display view, single round calculations. Scoring keys, doesn't matter, calculate. So every single spot that I calculate something, I have to fix because I did break that up into a few different functions. This is all fine. That's all fine. Scoring keys doesn't need to change. That all needs to be fixed. Stats selected. Watch that. Watch that. Stats selected first. Key stats. Stats calculations. Where's that come from? Oh, right here. So single round calculations, I know I need to fix that. That should all be down here. Let's keep going, make sure there's nothing else I'm missing. Fix. Stats calculations. Those are good. Here, process data, stats calculations. Stats for whole scoring segments, process data. Length, that's all still based on the same thing. Okay. Where are these at? Round display calculations. Okay, maybe I start with those just because I can see them right here. All right, so round display, round score. No, not. Probably need to fix this one too. Count for skipped holes. I don't change that. I don't change that. We count for skipped holes here. Number of attempts. Makes and attempts. What do I return here? I return all of these attempts. Temp array is equal to C1x putting. So I need to go account for all of the individual stats too. That is going to be the easiest way to do that. All right. Update all individual stat calculations to skip hole if skip is passed. Nope, I don't get to drag that. Yeah, I do. All right. So those should all be fixed by adjusting those. How does this work? Where do I use calculate num attempts? Do I use it here? Stat attempts. All right, let me check that. Where do I use stat attempts at? Passing it to around infographic content. Why do I set these all equal to 1? Oh, because I'm doing it per. No? I probably shouldn't look into that too much. It's working. I had a reason for it. Because I don't increment those at all. but I must never use it. Calculate circular percentages. So those, it should just be updating the individual stats. If I do that, I'd be fine. Number of holes is equal to parsed out. I do have to account for the number of holes though. Yeah. Okay, so for var hole equals 0, parse dot length hole plus plus, if shot data hole contains all labels dot skipped hole, number of holes minus equal to 1. Just because I need those values to update properly. Yeah, okay. So we should be good there. And I bet I'm going to want similar logic down here. Number of holes. I'm not using them in these calculations. We'll update the individual guys. Those guys I need to update. So then we throw this here. I'm not even taking shot holes from that. So here we can actually do account for skipped holes. And I can just say if user hole scores, hole is equal to 0. Okay. Is that it? And num attempts. That was actually the third one anyways. So number of attempts, I shouldn't need to do anything. I don't think. Let's go take one more peek at that. Because if I need to figure out where I'm using that. That's calculate num. All right, so everywhere I use stat attempts, I have to figure out where it's going. Round infographic content, always to round infographic content, okay? Which is on round infographic. All right, up here I get stat attempts, 1 there, 2 there, and it's not used at all. I'm literally not using stat attempts at the moment. Okay, I should remove it then, right? Should. And then let's go address those errors. Where'd it go? Come here. Like so. And whoa, don't do that. Like so. Okay, and if I'm not calling it there, then that means that stat attempts up here should be unused, which then means that I'm just going to go remove this whole function. And I shouldn't have any issues doing that. Beautiful. Okay, so once I fix the individual stat calculations, everything on that view should be taken care of. Do I just go through all the calculations now? Is that what we do? It'd be nice to just do them on the individual round calculations, but I call these functions individually at separate points. Here, I need this if. No, I don't. If shot sequence contains all labels skipped whole, return that's not going to work. I do reduce the number of holes though. And I can't do any better than that. It's a true or false. Okay. So we're going to have to check and just make sure the stats look right. This has got to be the same thing. Oh. Dang it. Copy this. Paste. Bool for parked. Bool C1 in regulation. Has to be false. Again, with the hope that just when I'm displaying these, I'm always reducing the number of holes, which I do think I was. Like when I'm calculating all of those percentages, it's all based on the number of holes, and I do reduce it. So as long as I'm returning false on these, we should be fine. Do the same thing here. C1x putting. If shot sequence contains all labels skipped whole, we're returning 0, 0. Okay. Same thing here. Return 0, 0. Same thing for C2 putting. Putting comeback rates. This is the same thing. Return 0, 0. Okay. Putting distances log. Here we're just going to return putting distances. Okay. Scrambles. We're returning 0, 0. OB strokes. I really shouldn't need to do anything in that, but we will, just because. Can't hurt. OB on the hole. Contains skipped hole. We're returning false. Stop, object. All right. Bool ace. I'm not going to change that. This one I do need to change. So I'll just create the code here for ace if user score is equal to 0. Return false. Again, these should all already be accounting for the decreased number of holes. Account for skipped holes. And now we're going to take this, and this will be my code for all of these. User score equals 0. User score equals 0. Technically, I don't need it on these functions either, but I like things being consistent. C1x makes streak is equal to previous streak. I think I just want a if shot sequence contains skipped hole, return C1x makes streak. String. So we're just going to skip it. We're keeping the streak as what it was previously. Shot sequence contains skipped hole. C1x makes streak. That's good. All right. Here, if, give me this one again. If shot sequence contains skipped hole, we're going to return previous bonus. Okay, so that's good. Format golf score to int, those are all good. Okay, so I think that file is done. Let me close that out. That's individual stat. I went through my round display calculations. So let's go through the single round calculations now. For loop in Dart, how do I include a conditional inside of that loop which skips the iteration if it evaluates to true? I don't remember if it's just continue. If I ever get a response. Continue. Only odd numbers will be printed. Okay, so I just use continue. Number of holes is equal to parsed out length. All right, so I need this logic again. All labels. If shot data. Hole. Which would just be list string contains. Okay, so I will reduce the number of holes there, which is good. Holes to ignore. That's fine. Won't change that. Pretty conversion rate in C1 is good. So here, I should just be able to do this. Yep. That exactly. We're continuing, we're ignoring all skipped holes. So none of this is going to calculate for a skipped hole. I'm not going to change any values. I'm not going to change any of this. Can I do that before I do anything else in the for loop? Yeah. And then so this stuff underneath it. Let's get rid of that comment. Average strokes per hole. I do still want all of that to run. So just thinking if they skip every single hole, then I run into issues here. But we'll just delete a round or something. No user should skip every hole. That's probably never going to happen as a use case, but I should account for it because it is possible. So all of that still should be just fine. Number of holes I did decrease. So this might be good. We might be done there. Bounce back. Okay, if bogey last hole, if user score return 1. If user score is equal to 0, return 0, 0. Okay. Birdie streak, return 0. Ooh, no, sorry. Return previous streak. Don't want to break the streak with the skipped hole. Bounce back is good. Here I need the same logic. Don't want to break the streak. Calculate single round score. Round score is equal to 0. I think I did. I just skipped that block inside if the score is equal to 0. If it's not equal to 0, to account for skipped holes. And then this just goes inside of it. Yeah. Okay, so I think single round is done as well. I think I'm done with the round display calcs. So all round calculations is going to be next. Ooh. I may not need to do much with this. Stat meta, base edition, so this should all be based off of the individual round stats. Right, because if I go to my single round, like I am still, holes played is number of holes, which I do reduce as I need to. Okay. Multi-round, I'm getting shot data sets, but I'm using it with that single round, which is what I just updated. So I think that's good. Stat persistence. I believe this should also all be based off of the single round stats. Current totals, I probably need to go to the scorecard and verify that. Handle round finished. Handle round finished. Save round to JSON. Do I do it up above? I do. Add stat totals, and I use single round stats, yeah. Add stat totals. Stop. Okay. So I'm pulling that from the single round stats. Okay. So that might work as well. I think I might be done. All of these stats should be calculated appropriately. Load all time stats. Normalize stat map should work fine. Erase all time stats. Which I already checked. Okay. I'm a little nervous for this, but we might be done. just need to do a whole bunch of testing. I mean, I got to make sure that I didn't break anything here. Last 5 rounds. Let's get rid of Creekside. That's 2 rounds. This all appears to be working. 9 plus 3. Yep. Okay. So then the question of, I'll go to the 4 golds. That's fine. Let's skip hole 1. And then let's do a bunch of aces. Good. 43 under. What was par? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So par is 63. And I took 17 strokes. But I skipped hole 1. So then the par becomes 60. So 43 is the correct score. Finish round. Okay, I was like, oh no, the putting stats broke, but they didn't break. That was 0% because that was all aces. So there were no putts. Driving stats are correct. Round grade is perfect as it should be. Okay. So there's something minor to address, but that's not a big deal. 0 for 0. 17 for 17. Ace throws, no putting distances. Yep, those are all right. 1. Front 9 versus back 9. 7 strokes better on the back 9. I guess more par 4s. Because what it was 1, 2, 3, 4. And then probably skipping that one, and this was 1, 2, 3. Well, no, they should have. Seven strokes better on the back 9. Those are correct. So the individual round stats are showing exactly as they should. The front 9, back 9 is confusing me. Because, let's go to my single round stats file. Here. Front 9, back 9 metric, 0 and 1. Here. Number of holes, which I reduced. Contains number of holes minus equal to 1, so number of holes should be equal to 17. And number of holes is calculating right because the other stats are showing correctly. Let's just confirm here. If number of holes equals 17, what does the below evaluate to? Yeah. I see. Okay, so all I need to do to fix this is that this code, we're going to copy, and then I'm going to come down here, making sure I don't use number of holes. Still don't use it, which is good. And I'm going to throw it right there, just so this is calculated beforehand. So what's happening is we skipped hole 1, so there's no score there, and it's ignoring hole 8. And there's just never going to be a good way for me to determine that, since they could skip any hole on the course. They could skip 3 on the back 9. It's a lot to account for. So we're just going to do standard front 9, back 9. It's still going to just show the score, front 9 holes versus back 9 holes. That's fine. That'll make a little bit more sense. Okay. So that works. Does this work? What if I go back to it? Still good. Still skipped. Let's fix that real quick. Hole breakdown card. Wonder how tall is all of that? Build empty icon cell. Can I just do a bunch of those? Like if I do a else. What? How many of these do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oops. Can I do that? Let's update this. See if that extends. Yeah, this is being a little bit slow, but yeah, perfect. There we go. Sick. Okay, yeah, I like that. I like the transparent. We've got the full height. Five rounds, 89 holes, not 90. And nothing seems broken, so 0.20, no, that's good. I think we're good. 17 birdies in a row. 18 holes in a row bogey free. I did have 18. Okay. Bogey free score distribution. Average round rate. Sick. This has gone much better than I thought it would. And in fairness, I have been working on this app for a while and coding for a while, so I should get better at it over time, and not make as many crazy mistakes. But I think I'm good. Let's delete this round. See if that crashes anything. 472 holes. We're good there. Now I want to try just skipping holes in the middle. So let's do a couple throw-ins. Let's skip hole 4. Give me some pars. And then I'm going to skip hole 14. Make sure this still shows as it should. It does. Let's go a couple more aces. So 4 and 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 22. The par is what? 63 minus 8, so 55. So yep. Finish round. Perfect. Perfect. C2 stats. Fairway stats. Is pretty much perfect round grade. Again, as it probably should be. Good. Good. Putting stats, fine. Driving stats out of 16 holes. Throwing, putting distances, birdie conversion rates, and C2 and C1. Huh? Birdie conversion rates I think should be 100% there. Why are they not? I didn't have a single par. Do eagles not count? That's the only thing I can think of. All right. Eagles or better, not counting for birdie conversion rates. Okay, let's keep going. So I need to look at those. Penalty rate, no strokes, average strokes. Front 9, back 9, 7 strokes better. Again, 7 strokes better. Yeah, give me that. Zero gets to -13. 1 gets to -20. 2, 4. It's counting whole 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Print number of. I don't use hold to skip. Why don't I use that? Hold to ignore. It's 8, so that should be. I need to use hold to ignore here. It's less than hold to ignore. Yeah. All right, that should. Let me do a quick reset. I was getting some errors to pop up too. I don't know if those were related to the things that I was just changing, so I'll go fix those. Yeah, I'm not getting one now. That's why I was using it. Front 9, back 9, number of holes. I think I can do that. All right, give me a reset again. Let's double check. 3. That seems much more realistic. Stayed at 3. 3 strokes better on the back 9. So it should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 15, and 18 down. Yep, perfect. Okay. So that is working as intended now. Let's pull this up here. I'll delete my recording from, well, we can leave that right now. It's not hurting anything. Just close it out. All right, version history. Yeah, okay. New ability in the options menu during rounds to skip a hole. Due to park goers. So I think I'm done. 88 holes, perfect. Perfect. I think I just need to fix those minor errors that we just found. I don't mind the gaps being shown at all. I think that's okay. Cool. All right, so yeah, birdie conversion rates, because I birdied every single hole. So the birdie rate should be 100%. So this is good, this is good, this is good. All-time stats should also be good, because that is what I'm on right now. Yes. If I go remove one, oh, I didn't hit apply. All right, 4 holes, 88. There we go. Did I not hit apply? Is that what? 5 and 88. It's not changing. Why isn't it changing? You can see that it's not selected. If I hit it again, it does change. It's just not changing on the first one. Why do I have to hit apply twice? All right, another bug to fix. Sometimes deselecting all time stats doesn't actually change what's being shown. And it doesn't, like that includes, because what, 72, 51, 24. Yeah, nothing changes. What if I do it? It only happens if all time isn't selected. That's an important note. Okay. Only happens when all time is selected in the drop down. Deselecting courses won't change the stats. Deselecting. I don't know why that one was giving me troubles to spell. Okay. All-time stats calculations also accounted for. This is lowest priority. This is almost lowest priority. All right. So first, let's look at the birdie conversion rates. Birdie conversion rate in C1 and C2, 0 to 0. Let's go down. A birdie. Here we go. I should actually just be able to print this out. Print user hole. Scores hole. Let's go print C2, print C1, print hole. That's probably good enough. What error am I getting here? Oh, that's that same error that just, I don't know why it throws. You leaving?
No, I just want to talk to you.
You can come in. All right, I've got these few issues to fix. I'm going to end this current video. I'll probably hop on and do another brief one just to address those later today. But I feel bad that I just keep pausing the recording. So we're going to end this video here. I will be back probably today to finish the rest of those. But pretty much got the skip feature in, so it's pretty exciting. Yeah, as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.